Hi, everyone. This is Chris Williams. We come to you today with one of our Inclusion Café podcasts, which focus on issues that can be hard for us to all talk about, that might make us feel awkward, or that push us into trapped behaviors that prevent us from being our best and whole selves at work. I'm going to be talking today with Jill, a factory technician based in Belgium, and I want to let Jill introduce herself and tell us a little bit more about who she is.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Gilles Watts. I'm an employee of Sanofi Belgium for the past 16 years, and I'm a transgender woman. So I came out of the closet from the age of 38, and a main issue for my transition was telling at work at Sanofi that I'm a transgender and I'm gonna switch from a male to a female. Coming out of the closet at Sanofi was way beyond my wildest dreams. I never thought it would be so easy. So then my coming out went so well. And now I'm very proud of it to share my story for the other people who wants to do the same.
Great. Thank you, Jill. Before we get into hearing a little bit more about your story, this is a conversation about you, but I just want to say a couple of things about my own experience, because I think it's helpful maybe to others who are listening to our podcast today, kind of think about what they know about transgender people and what their preconceived notions might be. Maybe they think they don't even know anybody who's transgender. And, for me, I'm a gay man, but I think I have often, or I did struggle at times to kind of see the connection between the experience of being gay and the experience of being transgender. Being transgender isn't something I ever really thought much about until it was something that touched my own life. So both of my children identify as transgender. And it wasn't until they came out and we started going on a journey together as a family that I really started to care. And I don't say that with any pride. I think I say with a wee bit of shame that I wasn't more committed to kind of understanding the experience and the journey of my trans brothers and sisters. And so I come to this discussion today as a member of the LGBTQIA+ community, but also as a father and as someone who wants to make the world a better place for young people everywhere to be who they are and to be able to express who they are in the way that feels most natural to them. So Jill, thanks very much for taking the time to talk today and to share your experience. You talked a little bit about how coming out at work was a relatively easy thing for you, but let's talk about your life before that. And tell us a little bit about your story and growing up and when you started to realize that maybe you were different.
In my early childhood, I realized there was something wrong. I didn't know what, but I realized, I don't feel comfortable about my own life in my own body. But the word transgender wasn't that common in the mid-90s. So I haven't heard about it. I didn't realize there was an opportunity or there was a possibility to change my gender. It took me about to the age of 25 to realize, whoa, this is the issue. I'm a male, but there is a really strong female sitting inside me. She took over my life, and after the age of 35, I realized I wasn't happy as a male. I wanted to be that female, and I was willing to take the risk to come out of the closet and to change my life completely, and wanted to be the person that I really felt who I am.
Jill, can I ask you a question about growing up? Maybe a couple questions. And when you look back on your childhood and maybe into adolescence, what were the things that you found were signs or were telling you that you were different?
Because when I grew up, you have to during swim lessons at school, when you went out to have a drink with your friends, you had to wear clothes as a male who weren't comfortable. The role as a male in the normal life wasn't the role that you felt comfortable about. But I had to wait till the age of 37, 38 to be strong enough to take the risks from coming out of the closets. And I can compare it with this. I grew up my whole life as a pilot in an airplane, a male captain with a female co-pilot. They went flying through the air for 30 years, and the male captain always thought he was the captain, and he kept the plane flying. And the female co-pilot was sitting next to him. She ordered to him. She took over when it was necessary. But then, after several years, that plane went down. That plane went crashing. It was descending more rapidly, and the male captain realized he hadn't controlled it. He hasn't the control yet. Once I was out of the closet, everything went very fast. I changed my way of clothing. I changed my way of living. I was very fast on hormones, hormone therapy. The doctors were sure about it. Okay, this is someone who is really strong and knows what she wants. In March 21, I had my surgery to make my transition complete.
And that's great. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I want to go back to your image of the airplane, because when we talked previously, you shared that as well. To take that metaphor a little bit further, was that plane crashing? Was that your mental state? Was that depression? Was that
yes? It was definitely a depression, and it was crashing, and the plane was descending, but the male in me didn't saw it. It was just when he was about to hit the ground that he realized, oh, I don't have the control. I have to let the plane controlled by the female in me, and that was the moment the female was strong enough to take over from the male.
And do you feel like, I'm struck by your discussion of the male and the female in the cockpit of the plane. Do you still feel like there's a male part of you, or do you feel like that was something that you were hanging on to, and now that you've transitioned, you don't have that part of you anymore?
I surely have that part, because I lived for almost 40 years as a male. I wasn't that unhappy. I just realized there was something wrong. And now I'm very happy to have my life in control. And that plane is flying straight now. It's all leveled. So I'm very happy. The male portion in me is gone, and it's all female, and I want to be a female. I want to see me as a female, but I don't regret my past, because it took me the way I am now.
Yeah. Along the way, before you came out and before you started your transition, was it lonely? Did you have anybody you could confide in, or was that a solitary struggle?
It was a solitary struggle, because I didn't tell anybody about it. Also, it was not an issue, because I had relationships with females. I lived as a man. It was just at home that that the female person in me took over. There was no issue that I had to tell someone that, no, this is not right, or I didn't dress like a female to come outdoor or something. So.
And was that lonely?
Yeah, that was pretty lonely, and it was a big surprise for my environment, because he couldn't believe it. No, what? This is not serious. This is not you. Well, what are you saying? You want to become a female? Nobody believed it in the beginning, and it was just when I said, no, it's serious. I really am a transgender. I really are gonna be a female. Then was the moment people accepted me as a female, because all the speculations, all the stories came to an end, and then they realized, oh, this is serious, and you are going into transition. And I really had no issues about that point, but it was up to me to make clear to the world and clear to my environment, oh, no, it's true, I'm a transgender. People needed that confirmation from me.
Before we talk about your work experience, I just want to ask, how did your family and friends react? Did they embrace you? Was it difficult at all?
When I told them, no, it's serious, then I didn't have any negative experience, just people wondering. So, oh, is it true? Is this real? Oh, didn't see that coming. And now they accept it.
And your family, how did your family react?
Same way as my colleagues did. So first of all, it was no, this is not happening. Then it was a little bit of concern. So oh no, what's gonna be with your life? Are you gonna lose some friends? Are you gonna lose work? Are you happy now? Is this really the way you want it to be? And when they saw that I was really happy with my coming out, when they saw, okay, people reacted positive about my life, my family was also comfortable about it.
That's good. I'm happy for you.
And like you, for a father, after my surgery, my dad told me, now it's official, now I have two daughters. And I told to him, no, now it's official, you have two happy children.
That's beautiful. And that's all, speaking as a father, that's all any of us want, is for our children to be happy. And when they're not, it's really hard. Can you tell us, what was that transition like at work? What were some of the things you had to try to figure out?
Yeah, coming out of the closet at work was a nightmare for 2-3 years. But at one point, all people knew, okay, there was something going on. This is that male person who we work with is coming out of the closet, is becoming a female, but what's now all about it? So they came to me and they asked, hey, don't you have to tell us something about you? Okay, and that was the point I realized, okay, now is no way back. Now I have to tell everybody I'm a transgender. And it was all arranged in 5 minutes. And then my management contacted me for a conversation, because they also didn't believe their ears, what they were hearing. And so my transition went on, and after that it went very fast. People accepted me as a female. I was able to change my name. And then there were the practical issues. What type of dressing room do you want to use? And then I told, yeah, after several months on hormones, yeah, the male dressing rooms or the male bathrooms are really an issue for me. So we chosen something of a transition period to inform everyone on the company, okay, I'm gonna switch from the male bathrooms to the female. Let's say 99.9% of all the people accepted that. And after my surgery, it wasn't an issue at all. People needed that surgery to see me completely as a female. But that were the practical issues we have to solve. Everyone was really a part of the story. Everybody was really involved, and everybody did their best to make sure the male body, the male person, the male name went out of the company, and it was all my female name, my real person that was working there.
And you didn't have any negative reactions at work, or any difficult?
Really negative? No. Just people wondering. Some people in the beginning of my transition period, from the first time I have to use the female bathroom, okay, they told me, okay, I don't have a problem with it, but I want a respect from both ways. So if you see me entering the bathroom, just hold on a little bit, wait till I'm out, and then you can use it.
How did that make you feel?
Respectful, because I told it on a respectful way, and respect comes from both sides. It's not because I identify myself as a transgender and as a female, I have to get the rights from a female immediately. Respect comes from both ways, and it was a working issue. I had to struggle with it for 30 years. So how can I assume everybody would see me as a female in just 2 days? So it was just a matter of time, and after my surgery, it's not an issue at all.
So I mean, I think that's first of all, it's a really graceful way to look at it, that you were willing to give people time to get to know you after you had yourself spent so many years getting to know who you are. And so I think that's great. And I'm also really glad that the reception for you at work was overwhelmingly positive. So that's great. So tell us about life now. How are you now? How do you feel now? You're after your surgery, you're post-transition, you're very public, at least at work, about who you are and sharing your story. What's life like today?
Life today is great. Even the moments after my surgery, my life didn't felt new. My life felt normal. It was like the first coming out of the closet, the first time wearing female clothes in public, the first time telling my name to someone, hey, no, I want you to use that name. That all felt normal. And this is, and I don't remember how it was before. It feels so normal. And people also treat me normal. So it was not you're a former guy or something. No, it's just a female. It is the female body. It is the female clothing. It is the female name. And
I mean, I know it's a different journey for you than it was for me, but when I think about my life before I came out as gay, like I don't even know who that guy is anymore when I look back in my memory on my life before I was out. So I can totally relate to that feeling of like, wow, like what was I afraid of? Or, you know, why was this so difficult? Like for me, once I came out, I was like, yeah, this is just normal. This is just me. This is just who I am.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
what I
now,
hear you saying too.
yeah. Now you realize yourself. Hey, why didn't I do that then in the past? Why did I wait so long for so many years?
Well, I think that's wonderful. And you know, one of the things we talked about this when we last had a conversation, but you know, one of the things we can share in common is that we both came out a little bit later. I didn't come out until I was in my 30s, and you know, you didn't come out till you were in your 30s, and were a little bit further on in your life. And you know, I've had people ask me in the past whether I regretted not coming out sooner, and I have always said no, not really, because ultimately that experience shaped who I am today. And the other thing is, and I think you and I agreed about this last time we spoke, you know, the closet only opens from the inside, right? You have to be the one to open that door and walk out and invite the world to know who you are. So so thank you for sharing your experience. As we wrap up our conversation, I have just one more question for you. Is there any advice that you would give to people at Sanofi, people at work, either who are themselves trans and are maybe afraid to come out, or people who want to be better allies and maybe just don't know how to do it? Do you have any advice for our colleagues?
Yeah, first of all, everybody has to know everyone has the right to live their way they wanted to be, and everybody has the right to be the person you really are. But to take nothing for granted. The only way to make sure you can achieve something is to work for it, and you don't get respect, you earn respect. But respect comes in both ways. When you respect people about your life, people will respect you. So you don't have to be afraid to come out of the closets. It is possible you live your good way. It is possible to be who you want to be, but respect the other people's opinion and make sure you respect yourself first. And then you are strong enough to handle with all the issues and become the person you really want to be.
Jill, thank you. I think that's a great place for us to wrap up the conversation. And I really appreciate, again, you sharing your story with us. I wrote down a little quote here before our conversation that comes from Harvey Milk, who many people might know was the first politician elected to a political office in the United States who was openly gay. And he's talking here about gay people, but really I think he's talking about all LGBTQIA plus people when he said, every gay person must come out once they realize that we are indeed their children, we are indeed everywhere, every myth, every lie, every innuendo will be destroyed once and for all. And so I thank you for living your life out in the open and sharing your story with us, giving us the opportunity to get to know you, because as we get to know you, we get to know a trans person, and that's, I think, a great thing for all of us. So thanks for your time today. I really appreciate the conversation.
Thank you, guys, and thanks all the employees on Sanofi worldwide, and especially my colleagues from Sanofi Geel, to make this possible and to make my world great again.